Welcome to another episode of Standards Navigator. Today, the special, and by general request, we're tackling Stella by Starlight. A great, I would say, rite of passage kind of tune, 32 bar form, really interesting. This is the good old real book chart, and what we're going to do today is going to be a bit different in that I will play through improv strategies as well as analyze it. So we're going to go in line, do sections of 8 bars because they're all different 8 bars. We're going to do that, and you'll have the improv stuff that you need to tackle this tune. I'll show you my handwriting. So this is the first 8 bars, and for each section of 8 bars, we're going to look into improv strategies and pseudo-analysis. Note the difference. The only difference between my iReal book version here, iReal Pro on the right and on the left, is bar. This would be bar 14. Instead of doing E minor 7 flat 5 to A7, I do G minor 7 C7, which is still in the key of F. So that's the only difference. Know that if you're listening to it in a podcast, also there's a video version of this, which you can find on the YouTube channel, in which you're going to see my scribblings, and you can see guitar while I play through examples of the song. So this is just a great little standard navigation thing. Please don't hesitate if you have any questions. If I go through anything a bit too fast, let me know in the comments below. So let's get going. The song, I'm going to avoid talking about comping or melody. The song is simple in that it's all in the key of B flat. So if you go, the melody, so the whole melody is all in B flat except these two places. There's a E natural here, and there's a G flat here in the melody. Like that's the infamous like ending hook line. Beautiful, but the rest is all in B flat. So case in point, this song is melodically simple. So I highly encourage you just learn the melody as it is, and maybe build a pseudo chord melody or see one description below. You can find on the blog or on the school, on the fellowship, and learn the melody and then comp the chords. And most of the complexity of this and why it's still a rite of passage at jam sessions is harmonically the places where it can go. So let's start. I'm going to just hide the real book and just put my scribblings instead to give you some basic strategies on improvising. So here's and I'll do multiple passes on this, right? As I've done with Solar, Standard Navigator, and other elements. The best place to be when we want to make changes is to be extremely harmonically specific to each chord, especially at the point of this chord changing. I've been saying this, I sound like a broken record all through my YouTube channel. From here to here to here to there, the points of changes are really important to make, and playing through them are important. So how do we do this? Typically, the first step I recommend is to land on the third of the chord, but not only that, but landing on the third. Say I'm looking about 3. I know the third is what? You go C, D, E, right? C, D, E flat. It's an E flat because it's a C minor chord. All right. So if I land on it directly, it's good. But even better would be to have a line that goes into that from above. So if this is my landing point, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Those are the best kind of lines that you can build to land into chords and to attempt to make the changes at the point of chord change, right? Now the question will be, yes, but what notes and what scale materials should I pick? In that case, this song, again, is pretty much all B flat. So you can bet, number one, you'd be safe most of the time with most approach notes from just the notes of the B flat major scale. Yes, here I am, jazz player, 1,000 chord changes on the screen, whatever, I'm telling you, playing B flat, guys. Absolutely. And when there's a note that's sort of odd, like here, at the end, you go, well, G flat, you will naturally hear it and change whatever needs to be changed from the key of B flat into something else. That's it. So that's a basic recipe. And I'm not going to go too much into detail, but let me just play like an improv, well, not an improv, but just the first 8 bars, one with just landing straight on the third of each as an exercise. Then I will add, say 3 8 notes landing. So if I land on the first chord is E minor 7 flat 5, so E, F, G, you're right, G. So it's going to be 3 notes into each target. And in my third round, I'm just going to sort of improvise around that and give you more strategies. Off we go. Landing straight on thirds. Watch out. So you see there's ways to start with the third landing and then adding stuff before and then playing around that. Now, some of you guys will want to go, oh, but I want to learn the scales. I want to learn. Yes, okay, I'll give you that for dessert just now and how we analyze this darn thing because it looks complicated. It's not as complicated as it seems. So let's start with the beginning with the end in mind. When we look at this whole thing of E flat major, so bars 5, 6, and 7, we could assume that this is all going to be E flat major scale. And that's a good old 2-5 in the key of E flat, right? You get F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat. E flat, the key of E flat, happens to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the song actually goes to 4 before it goes to 1. What songs go to 4? Every song goes to 4. All right, blues, all standards, pops, like every song goes to 4 or 4 minor of sorts, right? So if you are knowledgeable on how to execute cool 2-5 lines, you can do that exactly there. It's going to pass by beautifully with any lick. It could be B flat 7 altered or flat 9, it could be whatever. Doesn't really matter. This is just a 2-5 in the good old key of E flat. Good. Now, going back a little bit, C minor 7, F7 is the 2-5 in the key of B flat major. We don't have B flat major just yet, but it preambles B flat major, and it goes like, it's going to come, but here, what you can do, again, that's like the parent scale approach, we will play for these 2 bars in B flat major, simply. So again, any arpeggios work, any key center work, so C minor 7, F7, like any B flat major stuff will work on its own there, right? Just for that while. Remember, you're still accountable for making the changes, so you're supposed to land on thirds and do these drills, but if you want more freedom and use more of a chord scale modal approach, that would be the approach. And then for dessert, well, there's 2 things. Number 1, there's the first 2 bars, so I'll summarize this. This is going to be D harmonic minor. And here's why. If we encapsulated these 2 changes, E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 flat 9, we would say, well, that's a minor 2-5, right? What key is that in? It's in D minor. We don't go to D minor. However, during these 2 chords, we are exactly in a key that would be D harmonic minor. Yes, there are other options. You guys want to do A altered or diminished or whatever. Yes, that's fine. But D harmonic minor is really a good place to be. And I specified it on my scribblings here. One way to do that D harmonic minor scale is to look at A7, do the A mixolydian scale, the regular mixolydian, right? The dominant one. And then just do the flat 9 or flat 2 instead of, you go, and the flat 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, 7. So basically I'm telling you to do A7 mixolydian with a B flat and an F natural instead. And you can do that through these 2 bars. So that's more of a like key center approach. The thirds of each are still there. And if you did the 3/8 note approach I mentioned, that would happen organically, what I've listed here, but that's a great little entry point into that. Now the last thing we didn't talk about is the A flat 7, so bar 8, and I'll just give you the formula. So it's E flat melodic minor here. Because if you change nothing from E flat major, and you just change, you go E flat, F, G flat, you wind up with this A7 sharp 11. That's also going to be reused in the B section for the record. It's red there. Good. So D harmonic minor, B flat major, E flat major, then E flat melodic minor. Just use a G flat note to be sure. Let me just loop that and improvise using a key center approach to show you how it sounds. D harmonic minor. B flat major. E flat major. Again. Good. Maybe arpeggio work? Right. So it does work to use any or all of that material, and then the thing to do, of course, is to hear what you're doing. So I think in terms of a workload, if you do the first 8 bars well, the rest is just going to be domino. So let's move on to the next section. All right, off we go. Second section, B flat major, pretty descriptive. Again, I'm going to pseudo-analyze this to tell you that the first 8 bars went by 4 to 4 minor, or like to a flat 7. That's called a backdoor, and then it goes to 1. So bar 9 is the first time we encounter 1, and what scale, what should we play? Of course, it's just a key of B flat major. So anything in your major vocabulary, including blues scales, whatever works there. Then what we're going to get, again, I'm delighted. So this is B flat major, just duh, like of course, I'm going to even leave it out. And then D harmonic minor, that infamous thing we just spent a bit of time on. This is totally something you can do in those bars because it's sort of a recall. B flat major and D minor are related in that D minor is the 3 chord and they're really, really close. So we simply use a passage to go from 1 B flat major to 2, 5 to 3. So we wind up on 3. Good. So that's pretty easy. And again, the whole approach of landing on your thirds is still up for grabs into doing pickup lines into your thirds and then to use the chord scale approach and to work on arpeggios. That's all very kosher. So 1, 3, then I'm going to skim over. I'm going to go to F. So F is actually the 5th degree, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's not a dominant. So it just means that we've been in F major, and then what we have immediately after is a rise, F major, C7, G minor, C7. So this is 1, 2, 5 in the key of F major. So these 2 bars are safe in F major. And I'm going to do the same trick here for the A minor 7 flat 5 to the D7 that we did in the first 2 bars, that we did in this bar with the E minor 7 flat 5 to A7. We assume a destination that would be minor, and we say this is harmonic minor of destination. So this is a minor 2-5 in the key of G. So it's A minor 7 flat 5, D7 flat 9, or D7 altered, and it would be in G minor. If we isolated this block, it would be G harmonic minor. So I do what I call HMD, harmonic minor of destination. So during these 2 bars, I can work up G harmonic minor. Alternatively, again, my scribbles notate that we have the Mixolydian scale of D7, to which we do a flat 2 and a flat 6, and that's just G harmonic minor. It's great, like for this purpose, the harmonic minor scale is pretty good. The only thing we haven't really looked at is this bar, so the B flat minor to E flat 7, and this is simply a backdoor to the key of F. There's an entire video about backdoor, or you can do a quick Google search. It's a really cool topic to explore. So what we're doing is, instead of doing an F major destination and doing, well, we'll do 5, dominant 5-1. What we do is we come from behind. That's why we call it a backdoor. No silly jokes, please. So flat 7, 1. So when we go from into the chord from a whole step below, so the E flat, we call it a backdoor. So what you can do on there is simply do the Mixolydian of the E flat or the Dorian B flat. There's other ways to do it, but that'd be the primordial way. So I just wrote backdoor here, summarizing the next 8 bars. So B flat major, going to 2-5 of 3, so we're in the key of 3, then backdoor, just do whatever works. B flat minor would be the way I think about it in Dorian. Then we're in the key of F, we're in the key of F again, we're G harmonic minor of destination, and then we're all set. So let me just improvise on this for a little while, because now most of the complexity of the song is done. So in my first round, I will do simply targeting the thirds, right? And then I'm going to add notes into each third of the group, right? Then I'm going to do the chord scale approach, and then I'm going to do some arpeggios, and then maybe free improvising. I'm going to try and call the shots on camera. Off we go. Just thirds. Scales. Arpeggios. Improv. All right. So you see there's really lots of different approaches, and if you can muster doing all of that for the first half of the song, it's half the tune, but it's more than half the battle. I would say that's 90% of the juice that you need to do to really accomplish, to do that song very well. All right, so let's move on to the second half of the song for the blowing. Okay, this is commonly called the bridge of Stella, and I'm going to bring back the the real book chart. It says, great, what's that? Right? Da, 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 da. So it's a time where the melody is more floaty and less moving. And what I'd recommend is people say, well, this is an E flat or a D sharp note during the G7, and say it's a great time to explore altered scale. So one thing I'll do for the purpose of this demo, completely modal approach, use the G altered scale. There's video in the link below about the altered scale, how to implement it, what kind of fingerings I like. But just remember, the altered scale contains all the bad boys. It contains a flat 9, the sharp 9, and it contains the flat 5 and the sharp 5, and the guide tones. So it's a really cool scale because it's really out. Some players will do whole tone scale. Some people will do diminish. Some people do other kinds of alterations. This is really up to you, but it's important to explore different options because the chords have finally stopped moving fast. Now we can take a breath. So you can either step on the gas and shred on it, or you can relax, right? Up to you. I encourage you to look at the melody note also. It says flat 13 on my eye reel because it's actually a flat 13 note in the melody. And same with the C minor. That's the 11th. So it's a really good place to be. Right? The 11th or the 4th. So this calls for, I'll write in my scribblings, this calls for C Dorian. So really basic, any basic minor scale would work, but remember that would be the 2. So that's 6, 2, and then we'd have a 5, but it's not a 5, it's actually, again, a backdoor. Say B, D, and then this is back to 1. So this is going to be B flat major, naturally, and for this one, the A flat, we have already talked about this one, and there's a sharp 11 because it's the melody note, it's a D natural. And what you can do is go back to the previous section. So the first section I analyzed for you guys is just the E flat melodic minor scale. Feel free to play like Mixolydian if you want, but you'll notice if you don't raise that D from a D flat to a D natural, so A flat mixo, if you don't raise it, you don't have the melody note. So you do a regular Mixolydian and you raise the 4. 1, 2, 3, raise 4. Right? So it's that melody note. And then we're back to here. So I'm not going to do too much here because change running, land on the third, approach a third, yeah, fine. Your scales, your arpeggios, I'll demo just a little bit, but there's not a lot to be said. It's just, can you make a melodic statement on those? So let me just do maybe 2 rounds and see what comes out. Perfect. And now, for the last section of this piece, I think I'll even use the same sheet. It's going to be pretty simple. You see, it's the last 8 bars. So again, a really important approach that works for this last section is to look at each of the thirds. So land on the third. So E minor 7 flat 5, A7, D, G, C minor 7 flat 5. You can absolutely do that and then do each with 3/8 note approaches, which really works. Above, below, chromatic, yeah, whatever. And then the scale approach or the arpeggio approach. The arpeggio I'm going to spare you because ultimately you could really run them as 4-note arpeggios or more like... Or you could do... Oh, sorry about that. But you could resolve whatever arpeggios and whatever you would like to work on. You can work on ascending arpeggios, ascending arpeggio scales, ascending, descending, third resolutions, altered, not altered, fine. But the good thing is, if you did what we did in the first 8 bars, you do D harmonic minor on the first 2 bars, and then you replicate the exact same process. Notice these things are a whole step apart. So I do D harmonic minor, C harmonic minor, B flat harmonic minor, and then B flat major. And then I'm done. That's a tune. So I'll just demonstrate once using this approach of mostly sticking to these scales that I wrote on the left, and I'm going to do that twice just to give you an idea of how it sounds. This is simply called backcycling. So it's starting from 1 and doing a 2/5, then the 2/5 of that, above that, and 2/5 of that again, and then you're all set. All right, let's see how it sounds. Something like that. There you go. So there you go. You have the secret of the song. Again, for Stella by Starlight, the bridge 6, 2, 5, 1. The 5 we replaced by a backdoor again. A whole step below. Then backcycling from 2/5 up another 2/5 up another 2/5. That's the easy part. The hard part is to get around to doing the first 8 bars and know that this is the scale degree 4, and then isolate this 2/5, isolate this 2/5, and then deal with bar 9 through 15. And after that, you're golden, right? So it's an interesting piece for that. Let me know if you have any questions. Of course, this is the Standard Navigator. I just started this little series, so if you guys have any more questions about Stella, and or if you'd like to have other songs tackled like this, and let me know if the format works. I'm trying to make it very concise, but at the same time very applied to what you can do with the standard. I barely scratched the surface. Of course, there's way more, but at least I want you to walk away with a usable, intelligent, smart approach to becoming a jazz improviser without, having to do a full undergrad degree in Berkeley before you can solo on these changes. It's actually all B flat major, oddly enough. But let me know if you have any questions and what you'd like to see next. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Take care, guys.